Well, good afternoon and welcome to the third All Club Conference Call brought to you by your CWRAP team, Conversations with Rotary Action People. This is for Wednesday, July 15th. Hope you got your taxes done. Today's tax day. My name is Donald Hobus with the Chicora Rotary Club in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So welcome to everyone. To kick off today, I will ask our newest Rotarian in the art district from the Columbia East Rotary Club, Mr. Jason Lockhart, to bless our meeting today, sir.
Thank you, Donald. We'll bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to gather in these unusual times to spread the message of Rotary and to share in community with one another. We pray for those who are present and those who are absent, and that our clubs will continue to strengthen our communities and ultimately serve others to glorify your name. I pray that you would be present with us during this meeting and as we leave today to do your work in this world. Amen.
Thank you very much, Jason. Now for the Pledge of Allegiance. From the Rotary Club at Hilton Head Island, Mr. Robert Eberly.
Thank you. If you will all join with me, recite the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Robert. Now I will do the vision statement of Rotary. Together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. Thanks for everyone for being here today here on the Zoom, and we're also streaming this over on our district's Facebook page. So we encourage you to go there after this and share this on your personal and your club pages. And if there's someone in your club that you don't see here, how about reach out to them and invite them to the next one of these that we have going on. And we'll talk more about that at the end of today's segment. But now you guys get to introduce who you are to us. I will go in the order I see them on my screen. All of you are muted right now, so before you start to speak, when I call on you, please come off mute. We want to know your name and your club name. So I will go first in the order I see them. Mr. Terry Moore. Terry, I want you to come off mute and introduce yourself, sir.
Hi, Terry Moore from Somerville Evening Rotary Club. Welcome. Thank you for coming.
Terry's also letting people in that are in the waiting room, so he's doing multiple jobs. So thank you, Terry. Up next, Mary Gask.
Hi guys, Mary Gask, 5 Points Rotary, and welcome Jason Lockhart to our newest Rotarian. Good to have you.
All right, District Governor Pauline.
And my home club is Myrtle Beach Club, and I'm so proud to have one of my colleagues here today who will be introduced later.
Up next, he just gave the pledge, Robert Eberly.
Good morning and welcome all. I'm Robert Eberly from the Rotary Club of Hilton Head Island.
Thank you for being here, sir. Up next, Mr. Lou Mello.
Good afternoon, Lou Mello with the Mount Pleasant Rotary Club.
Currently vacationing in Paris, I see. Up next is our speaker today, Mr. Kirk Driskell.
How are y'all doing today? My home club is Georgia Alpharetta Rotary, and I'm with District 6900.
We're excited to hear your story in just a minute, and thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
Once again, our newest Rotarian in our district, Mr. Jason Lockhart.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jason Lockhart, and I'm a member of the Columbia East Rotary Club.
Welcome. We're glad to have you. Welcome to Rotary. Thank you for stepping up right away. That's what Rotary is all about. Up next, Susan and David Terrard.
Good morning, everyone. We're from Hilton Head Island.
Thank you guys for being here. Next up, Mr. Ken Gask.
Hi, Ken Gask, Lake Murray, Irma.
Thank you for being here, sir. Up next is Miss Deborah Burt.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Deborah Burt from the Rotary Club of Bluffton.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Up next, Mr. Terry Egan.
Yeah, call me TJ, and I'm from the Carolina Forest Rotary Club just outside of Myrtle Beach.
I know you as Terry, buddy. I'm going to keep calling you Terry. That TJ, I don't quite get that yet.
All right.
Thanks for being here. Up next, Michael Eckerd.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Michael Eckerd from East Cooper Breakfast Club in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina.
Nice virtual background you have there, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. Up next, Mr. Paul Walter.
Paul Walter from the Rotary Club of Hilton Head Island.
Thank you for being here, sir. Up next is Miss Paula Matthews.
Paula Matthews from the Rotary Club of Spring Valley, Columbia.
Thank you for being here. Up next is Jay Jones.
Jay Elliott from the Somerville Lunch Club.
Sorry, the thing was your name on there was so long. I was like, got it. Jay Elliott, got it. Thank you for being here. All right, let's see. Up next is Miriam.
Good afternoon, Miriam Fisher, 5 Points Rotary Club, Columbia.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks.
And last but not least, Charlotte's iPhone.
Charlotte Gonzalez, Rotary Club of the Low Country in Beaufort, South Carolina.
Thank you for being here, Charlotte. Going forward, guys, when you join our Zoom calls, we're asked to put your first name, your last name, and your Rotary Club, because everyone goes into a waiting room, and that's just easier for us to know who you are. We just had one person join here, and he just came on. I'm going to put him on the spot here real quick. Lewis Edge, come off mute and introduce yourself, sir. Lewis, we'd love to hear you. You're on mute, sir.
Okay, you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I am in a motorhome in Napa, California.
And what's your home club?
At Johns Island Rotary Club. I'm the webmaster.
Well, how about that? You might have a buddy that's going to talk about motorhomes here in just a second. So,
is your RV a motorhome?
Listen to our speaker who's getting ready to be introduced.
Oh, okay.
He's got a great message here. Thank you for being here, sir.
Sure.
All right, I think that took care of everybody. So thank you guys again for being here. Now to introduce our speaker today, I had the pleasure of speaking with him a couple days ago, and you guys are in store for an amazing message. I'm truly inspired just by the 5 or 10 minutes I spent with him on the phone the other day, just getting to know him a little bit better prior to today. But you can see based on his virtual background, he lives, breathes Rotary. He has got a RV that is completely wrapped in Rotary. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce the district governor from District 6900. He's based out of Alpharetta, Georgia, Mr. Kirk Driskell. Good morning, Kirk.
Good morning. Thank you all for having me.
We're glad to have you, and I can't wait I got to hear a little of your story the other day, so I'm excited for you to share it with our audience here today. And I said good morning, but it is good afternoon. But it's just a great day. So, Kirk, first of all, tell us a little bit about your district.
From a standpoint, we're a Georgia-based district. There's 3 districts in Georgia. I'm sitting at 6,900. I have 70 clubs, about 4,200, roughly about 4,200 members with us here. And my personal club that I'm in I'm about as far north as you can get into district, up in north, just about 45 minutes north of Atlanta in Alpharetta. And I run all the way down south of Thomasville. So Georgia, so right back down to just about to the Florida line is where we are. So
Awesome. And then how long have you been a Rotarian?
I've been in Rotary. I'm trying to get that exact date because I think the date they got put in through my club is a little off. I know that Dennis Mitchell was the president of my Rotary club when I joined, and so I want to look back on that because I keep getting asked. It was about 15 years, thereabout. But I grew up in a Rotary home. My father was a charter member of the Alpharetta Rotary Club, so I grew up in it and around it. I didn't realize exactly what it was at that point in time, but so I had a pleasure being the first kind of legacy member through my club, and the first one. My father was the second president of that club. So, 34 years later, I got the opportunity to serve my club in that way as well. So.
Well, awesome. Now, tell us a little bit about the RV, which is right behind you.
Yeah. So, in times like we're facing, I think that we can look at a challenge or an obstacle, if we want to, as a problem and something that we can't get around, or there's an opportunity in that obstacle. And I still get agitated when my father, if I start to complain, I have a really good relationship with my father, and if I start to kind of complain about some things that are going on in one of my companies or something of that nature, he'll just kind of stop me and be like, hey, I am absolutely confident there's someone in this world that would love that problem because it's an opportunity that they would love to have. And there's very few things that I've come across in my life that I'm viewing as a problem that someone wouldn't like the opportunity to have. And so I kind of took that same challenge on this year is, how are we going to navigate through the uncertainties ahead? And one thing that I like to leverage is from social media and from video. That's just personally how I tell my story. I'm really comfortable with it, and I've got my kids comfortable with it. To be able to express yourself in front of a camera, where you're not gonna kind of shut down or change or worry what you're saying. So I created the RV, and the second thing with it is, if I'm being completely transparent, I'm an absolute wreck when it comes to being organized. So I have my routine, and my routine starts the same way every day. And if you break me from that routine, I go into childlike behavior, which, I'm on vacation or it's summer vacation, whatever it is. I don't have to, I've got an excuse for everything that I fall short on at that point in time. So, I'll forget the button or forget the code or forget anything. And so coming in and out of 45 to 50 hotel nights in our district is kind of what the norm has been for those district governors that have come from the northern part of our district. I just wanted to stay more connected and stay more of a system. So if I got an office in an RV, then I can stay connected to my companies that I need to stay connected in, as well as to my family. I've got 18, 15, and 12-year-old. So we have a pretty active life and activities outside of Rotary and outside of our other companies. So it's trying to manage that. And the great thing about the RV is I'm not limited on my travel to where I need to stay for a hotel. So I can be a little bit more disruptive to my travel with my clubs. And that's kind of what I was setting out to originally, so that I could have the same bed, the same room, in the same structure, and stay connected to my family and work. That was prior to COVID. So COVID comes around, and it's like, okay, hey, now it's completely different. I don't necessarily want to be in and out of hotel rooms. Maybe not do as much in person in a standard Rotary Club as we would normally do in years past. So how can we bring value to our clubs? And so we gutted the entire inside of this. It's a 25-foot Fleetwood, and guys that are on staff with us and work with us, our men's ministry. I drove it over there one day, and I said, Pastor Christian and I are leaving in about 13, 14 days to a cross-country trip, and we're going to gut this before we go and redo it. And they kind of laughed. Well, we did, and we gutted it all and put it back together and got it wrapped at the same point in time. And we've converted it to a mobile broadcasting studio. So I can show up to any one of our clubs or any event that we're doing in our district or someone else's event that they're doing that's a community project. And we can help facilitate a Zoom through our switcher or through a live feed. So it's a fully equipped mobile studio, and it's been pretty exciting to thus far to see. And no, I'm not videoing personally while I'm going down the road or texting, anything of that nature. But we did, our last trip was pretty cool. We just did a cross country trip in it, and it was about 5,800 miles, and to do a documentary called Road to Recovery, and taking all of our individual journeys. But what's interesting is 280 hours of HD quality footage captured just from the inside of the RV. And it's been pretty interesting to see those storylines coming out and how that pulls. So that's kind of the RV, I guess, in a nutshell there, Donald, if that answers it.
And I think we know where you are, but this kind of just came across the chat box. It's kind of like, where are you now?
Yeah, well, right now I'm sitting in my house in North Fulton. I may or may not have on a pair of slacks. I may or may not have on a pair of dress shoes, and you'll never know. And this may be a t-shirt under the black t-shirt under this polo may be really sweaty from what that's the beautiful thing about the opportunity that Rotary's taken. I mean, we were challenged with something, and rather than sitting there and saying, okay, hey, well, we're not going to do anything until we can do it the way we've always done. Instead, your district's prime example, through relationships that I've had through my classmates, I've got an opportunity to share with you. I never would have been able to meet you. Most likely our paths would have never crossed had it not been for the challenges presented that we've looked at and said, hey, we're going to take this an opportunity, and you're doing all district calls. It's great. It challenges me. Pauline's challenged me. I need to do this in my district. I'm broadcasting it live to my district so someone watching will hold me accountable, say, okay, hey, when are we going to do this? It's a great idea. And that's the beautiful thing. So we got, because where did Lewis say he was? Out west somewhere, wasn't he? In his RV, but able to join in and participate. And that, I think, is a pretty cool transition that Rotary's made.
And I know when we talked the other day, there was kind of a backstory that I want you to kind of elaborate a little bit on about, that road to recovery. You gave me some information that I would love for you to share with the viewers.
Yeah, I'd love to. So I'm transparent from where my past is. So it's an honor for me to be able to lead my district in the capacity that I have to be chosen to be a district governor in my district. If you look at my past, so I've been in recovery, so I've not had any alcohol, I've not had any narcotics ingested into my body since April 12th, 1995. And during that 25 plus year time period, it's one thing if I just quit doing drugs and quit drinking, basically quit being a self-absorbed person. I forgot said something I didn't. So, so on that day, if I just quit drinking and quit drugging on that day, and that's all that I had done over the last 25 plus years, well, that's great. I'm not doing that. But, to me, sobriety is more than a day. Sobriety starts at the day that I quit. And then it's how am I applying that to my life? What does my life look like? And it was really easy for me when I walked into rooms at AA the first time. There was an old timer who sat over in the corner, and he basically told me to sit down and shut up because I didn't have anything to say that he needed to hear. I needed to hear what they had to say. And if I wanted to talk to someone, I needed to get a sponsor. And that's who I could talk to, and other than sit down. And needless to say, it resonated because I did need to just hear some truth. And, as I kept listening to him and in the times that I shared with him, he made it really simple. He said, to get this, we'll give it to you for free, but you got to give it away every day, right? Surrender to God, clean house, work with others. I'm like, okay, I mean, I can do that. Well, how fitting, I was probably just a little over around 10 years clean, 10, 11 years sober when I joined Rotary. And how fitting was it for me at that point in time to come in and say, okay, hey, I'm here to serve, right? I mean, it has been the best marriage for me for my ability to serve those in need around me. It runs right in line with our men's ministry and everything that I do. And I think we're all on a journey. We all have something that we can recover from, struggle through, and come through, and together we can do it. We're not designed to be by ourselves. And what better organization to bring those of like-minded individuals together to accomplish something that seems impossible. So, our road trip out was, I'm journeying into becoming a district governor. Two guys that were in the RV didn't know anything about Rotary, right? Had never been to a Rotary meeting. By the time we got done with the trip, they had taken the first Rotary selfie with the Rotary International president, right? And we even kind of felt bad because he stopped talking when we took the picture. And I'm like, so I guess he was having to be looking at our particular screen when we were taking a selfie with him. But their perspective of Rotary is completely different, because when we rolled up into towns and across Middle America, where you notice an RV when you're one of 10 customers or so from that day in the middle of this, the time that's going on, and the conversations that we had is, why do y'all have a camera crew? What are you doing with this bus? How does Rotary tie to recovery? Like, explain this to me. Well, all three of us had a different story about how our lives had intersected with Rotary and what opportunities Rotary was presenting us today. And I think that the messaging of Rotary, we would have a membership problem completely if people really knew everything that we did. If they really knew what Rotarians were doing in their communities, we would have a membership problem, because we would not have enough seats. We wouldn't have enough Zoom availability, because everything would be full, because you would want to join your neighbors and your community members that are serving the community that you're living in. And I still think we're the world's best kept secret. I mean, we have to, I think, or I should say, I won't speak for anybody else. I have to be as bold as I can be in what Rotary has done for me and the opportunities it's given me. Because if you had to look back at me 25 years ago, I never would have the opportunities that I have today. I never would be viewed the same way. And then what's so awesome about it is last Saturday, because of what decisions I made for my life, no one did it to me, but the decisions that I made to my life and the journey that I've been on afforded my 18-year-old daughter to be on a panel discussion for human trafficking as a Rotary International breakout. It was supposed to be in Hawaii, which I think we all would have loved to have been in Hawaii, an international convention. But if we were in Hawaii, an international convention, only those that bought a ticket and showed up to that event and then chose to come to that breakout session would have heard the panelists. So she was one of 4 panelists. One was in Quito, Ecuador, that Zoomed in, and the other 3 were present in Atlanta. There was someone from every continent in the world on the call. Right? When you look at the ability and the opportunities that the things that we've been struggling with have created for our message to be shared with the world, we have a huge opportunity ahead of us, huge, if we seize it. And I'm challenging myself and my club presidents to not look back 6 months from now. It's going to be easy to look back 6 months from now and say, man, I wish I'd have done this and I wish I'd done that. Man, live it a little bit reckless right now. Live it a little bit outside the edge, because we can try just about anything in an effort to connect our fellow Rotarians and to serve those in need in our community. The gloves are off. We've got it. So what are we doing with it? So I don't know if that answered the question there, Donald.
Yeah, I mean, this is powerful information, powerful. So I want to ask one question before I ask you another question about, your ministry is, so how many people do you think you've influenced to join Rotary at this point?
Not enough. And the reason I say not enough is because I know I have personal relationships that need to be a part of the organization, not because they need something from us. We need something from them. We need their talents. We need their passion. We need their influence to help share what it is. But I will tell you the funniest story about recruiting someone is the funniest story about it is I was in a car with a buddy of mine. His name's Randy Schiltz. He may be watching on my personal page here as we're streaming it. But Randy and I got in the truck and left Atlanta to head to Maryland for a waterfowl hunt. And by the time we got to Maryland, I had convinced him pretty much that he needed to join Rotary. And when we hunted 4 days together and turned around and drove that 10 hours back or so, the 2 days later was our Rotary meeting for my personal club. He showed up, and he's been coming ever since. And because of my relationship and willingness to bring it into a standard conversation of why I serve and why I do the things I do, it's turned around. He's then turned around, and our president nominee or president nominee designate, I'm not sure which initials it is for him. Our president that's in line is a good friend of Randy's because Randy's continued to do the same thing, and we're sharing, and I share my message more often, in the backyard rather than in the break room or the boardroom. It's because I'm taking Rotary wherever I am, and generally my passions and those that I'm engaging with are outside of the workplace, but they're plugged into the marketplace.
Can you tell the viewers a little bit about War On?
Yeah. So, like I said, I've been in recovery for just over 25 years and have been serving men and coming alongside them as they start their recovery journey. And not so much just for their benefit, it's also for mine. That's what keeps me sober is working with others that are struggling. And the one thing that I notice time and time again, there's a tremendous amount of resource focused on those that are in the middle of an active addiction. There's medical treatment, clinical treatment, faith-based treatment. There's all kind of treatment solutions. But where there's a huge gap, I believe, and we believe as an organization in the market, so to speak, is for those individuals that do not have a safe place or an appropriate place to transition to after some kind of acute care, prison, jail, treatment, whatever it might be that they're coming from, is coming to a place that's truly going to hold them accountable to the journey that they're on. And so we serve adult men that have to choose and want to choose to live amongst their peers. And there's nothing wrong with court-ordered individuals. We just don't accept court order because that's not the environment that we have. We're here to serve those that choose to live. And we provide a faith-based community that provides, that's rooted deeply in accountability and transparency. And it's there. And so at any one given time, we're, around 50 plus men at our different locations, and everybody's getting up every day, getting their day started, going to work. We're excited to have and maintain 100% employment, gainful employment. We're not running any of those businesses. We're partnering them with the employers in the marketplace. A lot of Rotarians, a lot of fellow friends, and a lot of folks that we've just worked with over the years that they like helping the men in that transit. Most of it's just kind of transitional job getting back, but that's what we serve. We serve those men. We are not a treatment facility. We're not a detox facility. We're a restoration organization. So we just finish what someone else has started and just kind of bridge that gap. And no time period. You can stay with us for a week if that's all that you think you do, or you can stay with us as long as you're growing or you're pulling. So you can, as long as you're helping the next guy get to where you are, then there's no expiration date on it. It's there. So.
Excellent. So one kind of question for you before I go to a question from the viewers, and if you guys have a question for Kirk please post that in the chat box. We'd love to get that answered for you. Is throughout your Rotary year, have you developed like a social media page to show you with your RV, or how can we keep, I'd love to kind of follow your story and follow you throughout your Rotary year. How can someone do that?
Yeah, that's, I have a public profile page because apparently I didn't, on the friend page, you can have so many friends and then you can't keep getting folks. So I will share my public profile page here. It's loading up, and as soon as it gets up there, I will share that with you in the chat line. But it's just Kirk Driskell on the public profile page, and you can follow along, and we're keeping everything posted up there. And it's been really fun thus far, and I don't have any set expectations. We're just kind of letting it go to wherever it takes us, to be honest with you.
Excellent. So I want to say first is more of a comment for you from your buddy Lewis, who's got his RV out in California. He said, since I first joined a Rotary Club in Opelika, Alabama in 1968, he has recruited dozens of men and women into Rotary, and several have served as president of 2 clubs. So excellent job there. There's the Facebook link. Thank you, Kirk.
No problem. Thank you.
So your fellow DG classmate would like for you to talk about your opportunity to turn your largest fundraiser into a super goal buster.
Super goal buster. Well, I can express one thing for you, that we were, my personal club, our last fundraiser that we did, and we got 2 that I'll talk about real quick. And one is all virtual based. And my personal club I'm the first district governor out of our club, and I'm not really thinking much of it. They really wanted to honor it, right? I'm here to serve, not to be served, but they wanted to make sure we were going to have a party at district conference on that Saturday night. And it was the day of the Derby, and so we were going to have a Derby themed party, and they were going to watch the Derby, and everybody's going to have a great time. Obviously, that got canceled, and so we went into transition mode, and we ended up throwing a virtual Derby party. It was a Zoom-based Derby party. There's plenty of Derby races, so if you pick one that's been recorded prior to, which just about all of them have, and our team, Pastor Christian, really, that's on staff with us at our ministry, came back in, edited everything back out. You couldn't tell that it wasn't a live Derby race going on. We raised about $114,000 in 2.5 hours. And that was my club, not the district, that was just my home club. 100% of that money was given away. We raised money, so there was 18 horses, and each horse had a jockey, and that jockey was raising money for a nonprofit. And so we facilitated the ability for folks to gather, assemble, have a party, have fun, and give away a lot of money. We've got a partnership right now with inside of our district. We've got one club, the Atlanta Rotary Club, is helping us. We've got a goal raising $500,000 that we're giving away completely, which is all to food insecurity. We've got a lot of commercial kitchens in Atlanta that are sitting empty. Mainly one to kind of, for example, is Mercedes-Benz Stadium. The kitchen's been closed. They haven't been using it. Employees are out of work. So right now we're just under $400,000 we've raised in the last about week and a half, almost 2 weeks now. That's going in, and it's employing individuals to come into the kitchen to cook a prepared, balanced meal. And that meal is then being distributed back to the Atlanta Food Bank through distribution channels that they have. But there again, the money's being raised, 100% of what's being raised, we're deploying right back to the street to those that are on the front line that need it today. And it's been pretty interesting to see. But the one that surprised me the most was our virtual fundraiser for the Derby, and we're going to continue that and just kind of broaden it for a district wide. and for others to join in Sandestin here in April of this next year. And Jan Pooley is the DG down in that area right there. We're gonna do a massive 5K race there for their district that Saturday morning, and then I'm hoping that the check that we're able to give them that evening is substantial. So I'm excited for that side of things. So I don't know if that any questions on that, but
you know, your RV says people of action, and we know in Rotary we're people of action. By what you have talked with us today, you definitely define a person of action. So thank you for what you do.
it's an honor to be able to do it. It was done for me with one condition: to do it every day. So
an amazing message. Any idea an RV of your, like what you have, any idea what the cost of that is?
It just all depends of, where it did, this was oh, sorry, that's my phone's ringing. I thought I had it turned off there. Sorry if I lost you. That it's a 2000, mine's a 2000 Fleetwood 25 foot, and is what it is. The wrap, to get the whole thing wrapped around it. Local Rotarian here in our district got it done for us just under $4,000, which was complete design and complete wrap. And so then it's just, you can go on as fancy as you want to as an RV. I bought one that was just kind of standard, and then we ripped everything out because I got the staff and talents in to come back and put it back in exactly how we wanted it to be, a mobile broadcast studio, even down to, I got hose reels coming out the side. So I got 100-foot wired mics, so that as long as we're doing a live event, I don't like, wireless is great, but audio is everything in video. You can have great video, and if the audio sucks, it's okay, what did they say? And you're having to overlay it and you lose the messaging. And the audio, if we got quality audio, we can put any kind of video over top of it. So we literally have 2 hose reels that are running 100-foot mic cables out so that we can capture it. So it just depends where and what it is that you're looking, for to do it. And I'm trying to get up. Lewis may know there's an RV fellowship, a Rotary RV fellowship that I'm going to kind of reach out to and talk with a little bit, just to have some conversations and bring a little bit more awareness to it. So it just all depends on where and what you're looking for. But this one, we get done with it this year for Rotary. We're going to turn it in as a tool to just be rented out. It works out really well to be able to pull up to site where someone wants video captured, and you've got a mobile studio that's on wheels and no one has to leave anywhere. And that's what I've been most excited thus far, to be able to capture the stories from Rotarians in our district that I normally would not have the video camera and everything ready in front of them. And so my personal goal is to help tell the story of those that you may have never heard their experience or their Rotary story and their Rotary message, because they're there to serve. They're not there to be seen. And it's really hard sometimes to encourage some Rotarians to go, just stand here and just talk about yourself for a second, what you just did. And we're not wired that way. And that's not why we're serving. So that's what I hope comes from it.
And Kirk, I'll call your attention to the chat box. There is a link to the fellowship for RVs.
Thank you.
And then for the folks that asked the question on the price of an RV, our buddy Lewis here has given us some information that Class A motorhomes sell new for prices from about $85,000 to more than $1 million for a luxury custom Prevost diesel coach.
You can spend just about whatever you want to spend on one, just how comfortable you want to be.
Well, thank you again so much, Kirk, for sharing your message with us today and joining us.
Yeah, and if you if you look in my profile, my link there, you'll see our men's ministry is Vision Warriors. And if any of your clubs or anybody, any faith partners or nonprofits or anybody that you know that wants to hear an inspiring message of what restoration looks like on the other side, on the front side of addiction, there's pain and misery, and all those are real emotions, and I get it, validate 100% of them. But there is, on the other side of addiction, there's restoration. And when you're faced with that, or you hear someone struggling with that, I just hope maybe that you think maybe of me at that moment and say, if that opportunity was not given to me 25 years ago, I wouldn't be here today. And so there is hope for those that are suffering. There is hope for those that won't change. And if I can do anything to help anyone, all you got to do is just ask to do it. And if you want us to share a message with some guys that are in transition and hear a raw message of truth of that, we're more than willing to be available via Zoom or in person. South Carolina is not that far, so we will go anywhere that we can to share a message of hope. Just let us know.
Thank you very much, Kirk. We do appreciate it. Lots of congratulations, and best wishes on your recovery, and a great year in the chat box there for you to look at. One final question. How can someone learn more about your Kentucky Derby event?
So we've got several folks on our team that pulled that off. Mary was one that kind of ran point on it. And I think they're trying to get a write-up pulled together on how we did that. We leveraged all technology that someone else has, right? We didn't build anything from it. And however Alpharetta Rotary can help any district or any other club pull that off, we would be more than happy. And I'd love to see, we may be having some kind of audacious goals to have the largest virtual derby party ever next year, and make it to where individual districts can host their own and do it. It's extremely nominal expense, just about you don't even see it by the end. And so we're hoping to have a blended virtual and live, but anything we can do. Pauline's got all my contact information, and I can get you connected up one-on-one, or you can kind of tag along, and we try to help host the largest virtual derby party. So.
Well, thank you. And I'm happy to share if anybody wants to reach out to me. I've got Kirk's information as well. So once again, sir, thanks for your powerful message today. I think we're all inspired, and we'll have a better Wednesday just after listening to you. So thanks again.
I'll have a better Wednesday for meeting y'all. So thank you for the opportunity. So have a wonderful day. Pauline, have an awesome year. Proud of you.
And to end today.
Kirk. I just want to say, now y'all know why I'm so proud to call him my colleague. Isn't he awesome? Great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
So in closing, I'll do a few announcements here. The first one happens to be happening tomorrow. I'm pulling up my notes here, so bear with me a second. It is happy hour. So this will be a happy hour virtual style tomorrow at 5 o'clock. I believe, is information going to be going out about that to members of the district? I haven't seen anything go out yet, but I do want to know. I'm getting the thumbs up. So you will receive information on how you can join the happy hour scheduled for Thursday at 5 o'clock. Now, today's a Wednesday. We do these conversations with Rotary Action people 3 times a week. Mondays at 11 a.m. Wednesdays here with this all club call at noon, and Fridays again at 11 a.m. Coming up on this Friday, you're hearing it here first, Abe Lincoln will be joining us on CWRAP on Friday. Mr. George Buss will be with us, and really, Abe will be with us on Friday, 11 o'clock. So why don't you tell your fellow Rotarians out there to see us on Zoom on Friday at 11 o'clock. I will end today with the Rotary 4-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you all for joining here on Zoom and over on Facebook. We'll see you guys on Friday for the next Conversations with Rotary Action People. That's a wrap. Have a great Wednesday. Take care. Bye-bye.